take a wild guess as to what day it is. If you said Theros launch day, well, you know, you'd be right. You did it. You got it. It's Theros launch day. We're going to be playing Theros all day. Look, I already have the packs. I already have. Boom. Scroll, damn it. 180 packs. Actually, holy crap. I don't open my packs enough. I have 58 Throne of Eldraine packs left over just from grinding games. Look at that. Look at that. Well, whatever. We're going to be opening all sorts of packs. Yes, indeed. Let me just do the audio thing real fast. Boom. So first thing we're going to do, I want to note that I did this little trick. In terms of my wild cards, I have 2 common, 181 uncommon. Why is that? Why is that? Well, it's because I go to decks. Every time before a new set, what I do is I filter by the new set, Theros Beyond, not collected, commons and uncommons. And then what I do is I go through as many of them as I can, craft as many as possible, so that way, when I go to open my packs, this avoids getting any more common and uncommon wild cards and increases the chance that it just turns into gems. So for instance, if I just open one of these packs, a lot of the times you will either get ones that you already own and they'll turn into gems, or you'll just get those few others you don't have. So Phoenix of Ash. Dude. Ghost Stalker, I'm adjusting my audio all over the place. By the way, we think the audio's ahead of video. We're listening only to Ghost Stalker for the moment. Let me just note, there has been some audio issues that have been occurring. There's been some audio sync issues that have been occurring on Twitch. Just go ahead and refresh, and it'll go away. So, also, we tend to do small adjustments here. Either way. Phoenix of Ash. Whoops. Phoenix of Ash is a card that I really think could be good in mono red. Agripe says, it just goes to the vault progress, not gems, right? Sorry, yes, I misspoke. If you get duplicate rares and mythic rares, those turn into gems. The commons and uncommons go to vault progress. I'm sorry, I just misspoke. So I'm going to be opening a whole bunch at a time. Again, I really think this first thing is actually kind of annoying to me. I understand why it's valuable, but I wish there was some way to disable that. Maybe it is in a setting somewhere. We're going to be doing some mono-colored decks today. We're mono-green, obviously, we're going to kick it off with. But I do think mono-red, particularly mono-red aggro, is really interesting to me. Also, Rakdos with this weird frickin' discard damage-dealing Kroxa guy. I mean, that's just fascinating. I'm also really interested in a mono-white mid-range kind of deck. This is going to be unbelievable in an Esper control deck. Absolutely unbelievable. Destroying target, X-target artifacts and or enchantments, or twice X life. Very good against aggro, very good against, obviously, an artifact enchantment deck. But in particular, because those are 2 pretty different archetypes, that greatly increases the versatility of Heliod's intervention. So I'm really excited about that one. Thassa's Oracle I don't care about. Wave Break, Hippocamp I don't really care about. Nesh and Boar. Boom! Boom! Also the White Saga we were looking at earlier. Elspeth Conquers Death. Exile target permanent. And then non-creature spells your opponent controls cost 2 more. And then return a Planeswalker or creature to the battlefield with an extra counter on it. I mean, fuck! This is the sort of thing that I think might not necessarily be main deck all the time. But I do think that this is a card that is going to be absolutely beastly. Absolutely beastly. In the side. So, like, you know, maybe Esper Control, something like this. So let's open 10 more. TPO says, I love that they brought Sagas back. Sagas are one of the coolest and best designs that has ever existed. I love them so much. All right, we got a Temple of Deceit. We're going to invariably need 4 of these, and I have a shitload of rare wild cards, so we'll wind up crafting any that we don't. Idyllic Tutor is pretty nice, beautiful art. I think this is actually going to be a very reasonable card in some of the Jeskai Fires decks. So Idyllic Tutor, we got that one. Dryad of the Elysian Grove. play an additional land on each of your turns. I actually don't know what to do about this card, so I'm not going to think too much about it today. Ephemia, the Cacophony. Huh. It's just exile enchantment card. Okay, never mind. Hey, go Stalker, see you later. Have a great day, man. Oh yeah, Erebos' Intervention. -X, exile up to twice X cards. Versatile, but not necessarily incredible. Alright, let's open up 10. Oh yeah, Dream Trawler. This is unbeatable in draft. This is unbeatable in draft. It's a flying lifelinker. Whenever you draw a card, it gets +1/+0. Whenever it attacks, draw a card. So most of the time, it's a 5/5 flying lifelinker that's swinging in. In addition, you can discard a card to give it hexproof. It's just fucked. It's just straight fucked. So, like, this is way, way, way too insanely good in draft. Or sealed or whatever. This is just, like, the most busted card. You guys saw me get owned against it yesterday. Alright, we got some other things that are of marginal interest to me. We're definitely going to Allure of the Unknown. I mean, reveal the top 6 cards of your library and opponent exiles an on-land card from among them. Then you put the rest in your hand. That opponent may cast the exiled card without paying its mana cost. I mean, this is pretty hilarious. This is pretty hilarious. Kiora, Best the Sea God, is another one that it's like the best frickin' limited card. It's even better than the Dream Trawler as far as I'm concerned. 8/8 hexproof Kraken, then you tap things, and then you gain control of things. Actually, maybe the Dream Trawler's a little bit better than this, but this is just absolutely fucking ridiculous. Part of the reason why I think this is so freaking ridiculous is the second line and the third line. An 8/8 Kraken that then taps down everything so you can swing in, and then you gain control of the biggest threat. And you untap it. I mean, it's doing multiple things so good. It's fucked. Whereas with the Dream Trawler, technically the board state can stall out, and the Dream Trawler player can feel a little uncomfortable attacking sometimes. And that's like the only situation in which things are okay. And technically, Dream Trawler can still die to combat tricks in that situation. But Dream Trawler's still insane. I don't even know how you kill an 8/8 Kraken, ever. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. This is a real interesting Simic ramp card. A real interesting Simic ramp card. Kind of fascinated by it. Don't know what I'm going to think about it, but, you know. Joshua the Fool says, Miss Eldest Reborn. That was a cool card. Perforos' Intervention. Create a hasty elementally guy. Deal twice X damage to something. That seems okay. This is the one that I'm very interested in for the sake of a mid-range to aggro white deck. A Vigilance 3/3 for 3, already good and adds Devotion. Whenever Terranica attacks, untap another target creature you control until end of turn. That creature has base power, toughness 4/4, and gains indestructible. It's just an absolute monster. So some of our cards, like Hunted Witnesses, Tithe Taker, things that like just leave behind residual 1/1s. Terranica feels very good there. This is why I'm going to be trying out a lot of monocolor decks today. Right? Like, why not? Monocolor red. Storm's Wrath deals 4 damage to each creature and player. Fuck yeah. Oh my god, it's so good. Nadir Kraken is a monster in Limited. I don't know how good it's going to be in Constructed. We're seeing some more of the same stuff. Treacherous Blessing is another one that gives real merit to some Rakdos aggro or some mono-black aggro. The fact that you can just draw so many cards. This isn't a VIP account? No, that was just yesterday. That was just yesterday. Yesterday we had a God account. This is just my normal count. Wizards only gives God account access for pre-release. Golly of Endless Dance. 2/2 Haster. I don't know if there's actually going to exist that many satyrs. So, you know, whatever. A Crow in War, I'm actually not entirely sure what to think about. Gain control of a creature for a few turns is a nice relief. The enemy has to attack. Kind of weird, forces them to be tapped. Each creature deals damage equal to itself is occasionally good. Very, very roundabout. Shatter the Sky is another very relieving white sweeper. Very nice to have one in the set that feels cheap and easy to cast, but doesn't feel like too binary. Each player who controls a creature with power 4 or greater draws a card. It's kind of a nice one. Alright. Okay. This is weird. Haktos. It's Achilles. Haktos the Unscarred attacks each combat if able. Gains protection from each converted mana cost other than the chosen number. And chooses 2, 3, or 4. This could be like a Bone Crusher against White Weenie. There's like so many 1-drops. But typically there's a reasonable amount of 2, 3, and 4 drops that just exist, so. This seems a little too unpredictable for me, but is still hilarious enough that we might give it a shot. If it had haste, I'd really like it. More Treacherous Blessings. Archon of Sun's Grace. Oh, baby. Very good flying in limited. Not good in constructed. That I can see at least. Calyx is a weird one. I have no idea how to evaluate Calyx. Yeah, mono white. Yeah. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, it's not a creature. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or enchantment you control. So like a life gain mono white could be good, or just a mono white that has a bunch of 5/5s in it is pretty thick, 6, solid, and tight. Yeah, this feels very good. I'm very excited to do this. We have another Terranica, which is nice. Maybe run 3 or 4 of those. Klothys is a card that I heard that Noxious was having a lot of success with, and I still really don't understand. I mean, it needs 7 red and green devotion. I should say a cumulative devotion to red and green of 7. So, I mean, it's not going to be as turn into a creatureable as other cards, but the ability to exile a card from your graveyard and then gain 2 life and deal 2 damage is really nice. So if you can fill your own graveyard and then you can just Klothys and heal yourself, that's actually a very compelling little combo. So maybe there's some sort of Teamer Klothys ping you to death. Most notably, it's just exile a card from a graveyard, not exile a card from their graveyard or your graveyard. What do you know? All right. Tectonic Giant is another card that I'm actually really interested in for the purposes of mono red. I kind of want to do a mono red aggro, man. I'm actually legitimately kind of interested in mono red aggro. This is at 4, it's a little bit more of a mid-rangey thing. Like, I probably wouldn't do the 18 or 19 land. I'd probably do closer to 22 and run some 4-drops. But it's interesting enough. What's that triple red enchantment, huh? Anything else notable here? Nope, more the same. Temple of Abandon. Whoops, I didn't look at all. Who knows? I was trying to move the window and then I accidentally just clicked outside this and then it was like, boom, gone. This is kind of a humorous card that I think has some merit in maybe an Orzhov sideboard that's having trouble dealing with cats. Something like that makes some sense to me. Storm Herald, I have no idea what to think of. Eidolon, another really nice white weenier. Very good sideboarder. First striker, too. Also, this is a good sideboarder against other aggro decks, as just First Strike is just bone crusher in that matchup. Nothing is really freaking me out here. I really want Nylia's. I'm really good at this. Even when I'm not trying to do it, I'm good at it. Can we just appreciate that for a moment? Can we appreciate that for a moment? It's weird. It's kind of like that commercial where anything the person touches turns to Skittles. It's like everything I touch turns into good luck. It's kind of amazing. I just say it and then it happens. Nylia's intervention was one of the underwhelming interventions for me. Thassa's intervention is interesting. This to me, I interpret this a little bit like a syncopate. You want to run like 1 or 2 because it has some flexibility. But the fact that it's an X cost card means that if your opponent like plays something that you do want to counter, sometimes you have to like overpay. We got more boars. Bam, bam, bam. All right, this is the best art in the set for sure, like 100%. This is so amazing. I mean, this reminds me of Pete Moorbacher's Angelarium, which, in case you've never seen, is spectacular. I mean, that is just beautiful. The way the whip just curls around. Oh, my God. Oh, all right, let's read the text. As long as your devotion is less than 5, it's not a creature. Fine. Whenever another creature you control dies, you may pay 2 life if you do draw a card. Nice. It's just paying life and drawing cards. It's incredible. Yeah, pay life, draw cards, and then a 5/6 indestructible is very good. It's incredible. You know, one of the things that, like, in terms of being able to see depth, typically just due to humidity and just due to shit in the air, the farther away something is, the more desaturated it looks in terms of color. Things that are closer to you look more saturated in color. So in other words, they go to gray the farther you go out. And the way that this one plays with that desaturation of color is just spectacular. Like look at the whip that's in the top left of the frame, being like really dark and like feeling close to you, and then like you could just see that head must be like a mile away. It just looks so distant. And then the way the whips all the way in the back are very gray. I mean, it just gives you the sense that this is a very large figure. I mean, the scale is just breathtaking. This is just one of the greatest pieces of art I've ever seen, man. Jesus. Well, yeah, the Lamia. Open 10x. Oh, Ashiok's Erasure. I'd kind of forgotten about this one. This is the blue Binding of Ixalan. This is an interesting one. Depending upon how much enchantment hate there is, but I mean, this is very nice for certain control matchups. Historically, have been like, I rely on 2 copies of Gristlebrand to win the game, or something like that. Or I rely on Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, to win the game. And like, if you're able to Ashiok's Erasure that card, then that's just incredible. It also lets you counter things that are uncounterable. Underworld Breach, each non-land card in graveyard has escape. This is probably going to break something, because now that I've played a little with escape, the escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost. That's pretty cheap. Exile 3 other cards from your graveyard is also pretty cheap. We have another Nylia, which is nice. E to Extinction. Jesus, I almost forgot about this card. This is the monster card. This makes me want to run Dimir like right away, or just something with black. Exile creature or planeswalker, then more or less surveil. I mean, this is just spectacular. This is a spectacular freaking card. I love this one. The art makes me incredibly uncomfortable, though. And E to Extinction is an incredible, incredible name. Alright. Pulachronos. Oh, yeah, I remember Pulachronos. That's the weird guy. The Hydra that can, like, get smaller as fast as possible. Ashiok Nightmare Muse. Huh. Again, this is kind of a weird threat card draw thing that I really love. I love anything that just builds up tokens a lot. I mean, this is cool. Thassa Deep Dwelling. Oh, yeah. At the beginning of your end step, exile up to one other creature you control and return a card to the battlefield under your control. Oh, that's right. This is interesting because it's one of the gods that actually has an impact immediately. For instance, with Nylea, you play, your creature cards are now reduced by 1, so like next turn, we're feeling good. With Thassa, on the other hand, we can play it, and if we have a good ETB card, it just immediately flickers back in, which is really nice. Nothing else here is too notable, just picking up on more of the good boys. Alright, we have some Heliod's Intervention. We're rounding out some of the other cards we need. I also have just accumulated a ton of gold. Nightmare Shepherd. I've been seeing this show up in mono black decks, which is interesting. Like mono black cat decks. It's a kind of a cheap, reliable flyer. Like, honestly, a 4-mana flyer that can do some good stuff with the battlefield right away is nice. It kind of means if you play the Nightmare Shepherd and then say you chump block with the Midnight Reaper, the Midnight Reaper will come back as a 1/1. I initially was like, this is gross with the cat, except it isn't really gross with the cat, because if the cat dies, I can choose to exile it. And then if I do, it makes another 1/1 cat. So a lot of times, the cat player does not want to exile it. I absolutely thought that this was going to create infinite cats, and then I was like, oh my god, this is bullshit. But upon a second reading, I think it's actually fine. And I need, what, 2 of these? So now I can just bash through 60. Let's go ahead and open this. I assume it gave it to me. Alright, I found the bug. Alright, cool. Alright, let's just blast through some Throne of Eldraine. Watch how many gems we're gonna get. Yeah, I pretty much have this set, you know what I mean? Yeah. The most powerful card in Magic the Gathering is the credit card. As it turns out, I didn't have Robbers of the Rich. And I guess I just had everything else.